There are painful losses, and then there are losses that leave an entire nation searching for someone to blame. And after England's gut-wrenching semi-final defeat to Argentina in Atlanta, it is very clear which category this one falls into. What should have been remembered as a thrilling, back-and-forth World Cup semi-final has instead turned into a firestorm of frustration among England's supporters, many of whom believe their team was let down not just by a devastating late collapse, but by officiating decisions that shaped the entire course of the match. In this video, we are going to walk through exactly what happened on the pitch, break down the specific moments fueling all of this anger, and explore why so many England fans walked away from this match feeling like their team never really had a fair shot. So let us get into everything that unfolded. To understand the depth of this frustration, you first have to understand what this match meant heading in. England had not reached a World Cup final since their lone triumph back in 1966, and after grinding through a difficult win over Mexico and a hard-fought victory against Norway in the quarterfinals, this semi-final against Argentina represented the closest England had come to ending that 60-year wait in a generation. Manager Thomas Tuchel had built a team known for its resilience and physical toughness, and for long stretches of this match, that identity showed up exactly as intended. But football has a cruel way of rewarding fine margins, and by the time the final whistle blew, England supporters were left replaying not just the two late goals that ended their tournament, but a string of decisions throughout the match that many believe tilted the entire contest in Argentina's favor. The frustration among England fans did not begin in the final minutes. It started building from the very first whistle. The match was physical from the opening exchanges, with both sides committing hard challenges as they tried to establish control, and it did not take long before fans started questioning the consistency of the officiating. Early in the match, Argentina's Enzo Fernandez went in hard on England's Elliot Anderson, appearing to catch him around the head in a challenge that sent England players sprinting toward the referee in protest. Instead of a card, the referee awarded only a free kick, allowing Fernandez to continue without any real punishment. That decision immediately set the tone for the rest of the match, with England supporters online questioning whether the officiating crew was going to hold Argentina to the same standard as everyone else on the pitch. Before we get into how this frustration boiled over as the match progressed, take a second to hit that like button and make sure you are subscribed, because we are covering every angle of this controversy as it continues to develop. It only takes a second, and it genuinely helps the channel. Alright, let us keep going. As the first half wore on, the sense among England supporters that their team was being officiated unfairly only intensified. Fans took to social media in real time, airing frustration over what they viewed as inconsistent whistle work, with some predicting out loud that referee decisions would continue trending in Argentina's favor as the match progressed. That skepticism only grew once England actually took the lead in the 55th minute through Anthony Gordon, with fans immediately bracing for what they described as an inevitable shift in the calls once Argentina needed to claw their way back into the match. This kind of preemptive frustration speaks to something larger than just this single match, a simmering distrust that has followed World Cup officiating throughout this entire tournament, particularly after Egypt's own public complaints about refereeing decisions during their earlier defeat to Argentina in the round of 16. For a long stretch of the second half, England looked like they were going to hold on and make history. Goalkeeper Jordan Pickford produced a string of brilliant saves to preserve the lead, and with the clock ticking down, belief was building among the English support inside the stadium, and watching around the world that this might finally be their moment. Then, in the 85th minute, Enzo Fernandez unleashed a thunderous strike to level the score, and just minutes later, in second half stoppage time, Lionel Messi set up Lautaro Martinez for the winning header, completing a stunning two-goal collapse in the span of only a few minutes. For England supporters, the pain of that collapse was compounded by the feeling that questionable calls throughout the match had chipped away at their team's ability to see the game out, making the ending feel less like a fair sporting defeat and more like a result that had been shaped by forces beyond their control. In the hours following the final whistle, the reaction from England supporters was raw and unfiltered. Some fans openly criticized their own players for what they viewed as a lack of composure in the closing stages, while others focused their anger squarely on the officiating crew. arguing that the failure to punish Argentina's more physical challenges throughout the match had set the tone for everything that followed. Prominent sports commentators weighed in as well, with several publicly questioning specific decisions and asking pointed questions about why certain challenges were not reviewed more closely. Some outlets went as far as running headlines accusing the team of collapsing under pressure, a harsh assessment that many fans pushed back against, arguing that the players had fought hard throughout the match and that outside factors, including the officiating, played a larger role in the outcome than England's effort or execution. Part of why this anger spread so quickly is that it did not exist in isolation. England fans pointed to Argentina's earlier round of 16 match against Egypt, where similar complaints about inconsistent officiating had already sparked a formal complaint to FIFA and a public response from football's governing body defending its referees. Seeing another dramatic Argentina comeback unfold under a cloud of officiating controversy only reinforced the belief among frustrated England supporters that a pattern was forming, whether intentional or simply the product of difficult, fast-moving decisions under immense pressure. FIFA and match officials have firmly rejected any suggestion of bias throughout the tournament, but for supporters who had just watched their own team fall victim to a similarly dramatic late collapse, those reassurances did little to ease the frustration in the immediate aftermath of the loss. Beyond the anger and the search for answers, this loss carries real weight for the future of English football. The wait for a return to the World Cup final now stretches on, extending a drought that has spanned 6 decades since their only triumph in 1966. Manager Thomas Tuchel will face difficult questions in the coming days about tactical decisions made in the closing stages, even as many supporters continue to direct their frustration toward the officiating rather than the coaching staff or players themselves. For a young England squad that pushed one of the tournament's most dominant teams to the very brink, there is a case to be made that this heartbreak could serve as motivation for future tournaments, even if that perspective offers little comfort to fans still processing how quickly victory slipped away in Atlanta. At the end of the day, this defeat has become about far more than just a scoreline. Between the contentious challenges that went unpunished, the growing distrust in officiating that has followed this tournament since the earlier Egypt controversy, and the sheer heartbreak of watching a place in the World Cup final slip away in the final minutes, England supporters have plenty of reasons for the fury currently dominating their timelines. Whether this anger fades as the sting of the loss softens or continues to shape conversations about officiating standards heading into the final, one thing is clear: this match will be remembered as much for its controversy as for its drama. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you are subscribed so you catch our coverage of Sunday's final the moment it happens, because after a semi-final like this one, emotions are still running incredibly high.